There is an ecosystem around, probably more in Western Europe. There's a young ecosystem evolving in Eastern Europe. So there is an ecosystem, but definitely not as evolved as in the US. The story across Europe is very diverse, so I think it depends on what kind of territory, country, what kind of mature industries they have available there. For example, in Switzerland we have a very sophisticated pharmaceutical industry and the financial center, so typically startups in that industry have a lot of opportunities and get a lot of attention in their respective countries. I think Eastern Europe is still more focused on certain production, technology, especially Russia has a very big group of very intelligent programmers, technology-oriented companies. So I think again, depending on the country, is a wide range of different industries that are attracting interest. On the one side, individual angel investors that create networks. At the same time, in Zurich there's a state-sponsored initiative around the technoparks. So these various different organizations identify startups and ideas that they can incubate and get to a point where the big pharmaceutical and lifestyle and healthcare companies are interested to get involved. In Switzerland, you see pretty much everything across the board. I think I was involved with an American biotech company that set up a startup and an incubator in Switzerland because obviously of the fantastic exit possibilities. But at the same time, you see companies like Logitech, that is a pretty well-known brand across the world that has its origins in the French part of Switzerland. The domestic markets are fairly small if you think what the global economic trend is and where the big consumer demand is going to come from in the future. So I think necessarily startups and these ideas have to in some respect, serve the global markets rather than domestic markets. The Russian state invests vast amounts in supporting these initiatives. So there you see very similar initiatives like here in India, like in Bangalore, where you see all kinds of mobile applications, integration of mobile technology into enterprise systems. New software, new applications development, and at the same time you still see, let's say, very technically oriented startups. I know of Indian companies that are operating in the Ukraine and again in the biotech and healthcare area, and creating a bridge between producing pharmaceutical products in India and distributing them in the Ukraine. For a very young startup, I think it's fairly difficult to probably directly enter Europe. But I think if there is a product that is already in a stage where there is a close to market or where there's considerable revenue potential, and the startup is ready to set up shop in Europe as well, then I think that there are opportunities. I think on the tech side in Eastern Europe it's probably more a direct competition because some of the products that they develop are fairly similar and probably in competition to what probably happens here in Bangalore. And it's not such a consumer-oriented market. So I think mainland Europe would probably be a better bet, and then depending on what kind of idea the startup develops, pick your right country and get in touch with the local angel networks, the local private equity and venture capital associations, and then hook into the networks there.